Can this episode be called "Stay Inside the Stanchions"?
That's yes. I'm gonna have to look up how to spell stanchions, but stay in the stanchions.
I think it's like the homie Stan. SHONS. That's definitely not it, bro.
Subscribe to our YouTube if you're not. Please, please, please. It's very good. It's the best kept secret on YouTube.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a secret right now.
Yeah. Let's expose it.
Let's go.
Tell a friend. You were adulting today? You were shopping as an adult?
Todd, I don't know. I got this weed that I smoked, and it made me want to run errands, and knock out responsibilities. Not go to my to-do list that's been fucking rocking for months and months and handle it.
This is the weed that all parents would approve. The weed that makes you a more responsible and diligent person.
I mean, dude, I went to the post office. I cleaned, I organized, I paid off old parking tickets and shit. Oh, no, not parking tickets, tolls, tolls. Because there's nothing worse than getting rammed up the butt with a total amount of $12 in tolls, but after forgetting about them and not knowing about them, end up costing you $500.
It's the worst, and you can't like pay the toll as you go anymore because unless you have the Easy Pass thing or whatever, because no one's manning the toll booths. So when you travel now, you got to wait to get the shit in the mail. And I mean, who checks their mailbox? What kind of idiots are just sitting around checking their mailbox on a daily or even weekly basis? I check it every 7 months, whether I need to or not.
Listen, here's what I do. I get emails and I say yes when it says, do you want to go to paperless billing? So what kind of piece of shit hangs out at their mailbox?
Why don't they just have me give them my email address? Like Illinois, I'm traveling through your state. Here's my email address. Why don't you email me a bill for all the tolls that I'm going to incur along the way because your state's a piece of fuck.
Yeah, because we think it's fair to make Americans balls deep in a pandemic, losing their jobs from big media, to take a $12 worth of tolls and make them pay $6,000. That's awesome. Let's do that, Todd.
How do we have private roads? Why don't you know what? From now on, why don't we have private oceans where, in order for me to go waist deep into the ocean and enjoy some beautiful scenery and a little nature, it costs me $14.
Oh yeah, hey look, 14 unless you don't pay, and then guess what? Then it's $40,000, Todd.
Why not some private air? Like if I'm in your town and I decide that I need to breathe while I'm passing through your town, why not charge me for the oxygen consumption that I'm using up in your town? $14 if I want to breathe and be in your city.
Hello, Bernie Sanders? Yeah, it's me, $20 chef. Listen, my man, while you're balls deep canceling student loans, some of us didn't go to college, but we have enough of fucking parking tickets and tolls that haven't paid that equal student loans. Can you do something for the people that were too dumb for school?
We pay taxes on our license plates. We pay taxes when we buy our car. We pay taxes when we pay insurance. You tax the fuck out of everything I have that passes on your roadway. How are you now taxing me for driving on it? I pay taxes for a living. Hey, you don't tax your citizens enough? Raise that fucking tax. Don't pass it on to me. I'm just passing through.
Hello, the city of New York, federal government? Yes. Do you make $60 million a day in tolls of people going in and out of the city? Because if you have 4 axles, it's $1,000. Yeah, how about you go fuck yourself? How about that? How about somebody go and rage that building? Hello, government? Hello. Can we get the guy in the fucking wolf suit down at the parking ticket office?
We have so many legitimate reasons to wage a war against our country, and we're picking this battle to walk around. And what a bunch of fucking Nancy's too. Like you're talking a big game. We're going to storm the Capitol, and then they're showing pictures. Granted, the CNN people are freaking out, but when you look at it, it's just a bunch of people with their hands in their pockets like, wow, this place is some really cool marble. Wow, or fucking taking selfies. Look at me raiding the Capitol today.
So this is where Abraham Lincoln hung out. If you're going to storm the Capitol, do it properly. Take some firearms. Fucking blast into the walls. Don't kill nobody. Just pop off some rounds.
What?
It's your meat business. You can't walk around in bulletproof vests with a fucking camera.
What a soft ass invasion. I'm not worried about those red hat wearers at all. They're just walking around, milling around in furry costumes.
Hey, the good thing is that they fucking, I know this is too, and Jared talked about it earlier. Luckily, they stayed within the fucking stanchions.
That's what they're called. I can't remember the name of them.
All right, everybody, remember, when you get a bulldoze through the Capitol and you attempt a coup with no weaponry, stay in the red stanchions. We don't want anybody to think you're not VIP. All right, climb up the walls, bust a few windows, and hang out in Nancy Pelosi's office. All right.
For everyone that's illegally invading the Capitol today, just please remember to stay within the stanchions and no flash photography, please. No flash photography.
Hopefully you have an iPhone with low light capabilities. And guy with the fucking fur on, what's your deal? Why you walking around
You're at
like
the wrong
fucking
event.
Revenant?
You're at the wrong event, sir. The furry convention is 3 blocks that way.
You should be fucking somebody in a teddy bear costume 4 blocks down.
Oh my
man,
God. What a
Is the
fucking couple days. Jesus. What a bunch of fucking dummies. Come on.
Oh man, dude.
This is like there was this kid on every little league team, I feel like. Like when he lost, he fucking went nutso after the game, screaming about the refs did this, the umps did this, the umps did that, fucking yelling at his teammates for fucking making that error in the fourth. You just fucking take your L and move the fuck on and wait for 4 years from now.
Not only Little League, Todd. I was in a co-ed softball adult league a few years ago in Indianapolis. And the guy that played third base, quintessential, I can't come to terms with the fact that I have no skill set that I used to have. He's like trying to pull a ball from deep third and he runs out into the outfield to do the turnaround Derek Jeter fucking I'm going that way but throwing to first base fucking move and the ball goes over the dugout type shit. And this kid, man, he wants to argue with the other team and the umpires. One time he almost started a little brawl and I'm on second base like, my man, I got shit to do tomorrow. If you think I'm fighting for your stupid ass on an adult softball, you've lost your goddamn mind. And I love to fight.
What a letdown from the third baseman you had previous to that. Me fucking stabbing liners.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you were stabbing liners and then you fucking pulled a couple of hammies and that was a wrap on your career.
Retirement. It happens to the best of us.
Fun fact, though, if we go to my truck right now, I still have your bat in the back of my truck.
Ooh, I bet's got some
the
dingers
T
under
something,
its
the
belt.
TM something or whatever the fuck. The TMV yellow and black bat.
Yeah, baby. When
the cops pull me over, they say, why you have a bat? Is that because you want to bash fools if they get at you in the intersection? And even though I say yes, even though I think yes, I'm thinking, no, sir, I hit dingers because maybe watched my podcast videos, but here's my home run ball from October 24th, 2016, officer. Maybe you should get out there, hit some dingers with me, or just maybe go get mine after I knock them out the park.
Does he try to sign you up for his FOP team? After that?
I would have signed up. I would have signed up.
Raise your right hand. I'm going to swear you in real quick. We need a shortstop.
I'm also I could do shortstop for this team, and I'm also a sworn in peace officer now. So how about this? Get on the fucking ground, ball.
I had a buddy that played on, and this is true, I'm not going to say the name of the company, but it was an automotive company based here in America, and they had a traveling softball team at a very high competitive level. And if you were really good at playing softball, you could get a job there for about $35-40 an hour working in their skilled trade department and never actually ever have to go into work. You just played on their softball team.
No
40 hours a week, just to play on their softball team. This was way back in the day.
$6,400, bro, a month.
Yeah. So and they wonder why, like when they had the big layoffs and everybody was yelling at those automotive companies, like, boo, you're fucking. Yeah. Well, dude, we were fucking paying softball players $110,000 a year. What are you talking about?
But in my honor, in my defense, I was batting .475 with people in scoring position, and I was quite the first baseman.
I mean, that's a pretty reasonable rate then.
Are they the first ones to get laid off whenever fucking some major, like, are people losing their jobs except for the softball guys?
Probably.
How does that work, dude?
They were probably the last ones to go. Like fucking, yeah. Until you get my age, you start pulling your hammy, and then all of a sudden you're on the chopping block.
I know. I was on a softball team when I was like 20, 23 or 21 or maybe 18 or 19 for Chevy's Mexican Grill. Mm-hmm. Chevy's Mexican Restaurant, home of the fresh homemade tortillas by a little thing called El Machino. Look it up. Mm-hmm. Anyways, El Machino the hostess used to sit there and fucking run balls of dough through this machine, and tortillas would come out the end, But we were on a run. We were out of Phoenix. We were going to Irvine and fucking San Diego. I mean, we were on the run playing softball, dude.
I
just remembered that.
I got an opportunity to play for an A-League softball team once. Got recruited because I filled in for him once. And the one time I filled in for him, had the game of my life. And they thought, oh, this guy, he's at our level, right? In A-League softball, every single dude on every single team can jack the ball out of the park at will, right? They just choose when to hit home runs. So they'll just be like base hit, home run. They will scream at you if you hit a home run and there's less than 3 people on base. Because
believe me,
so
I know.
easy.
I was the guy.
Right. So I go to play for them. And at one point, I have never been the worst player on anything that involved a bat and a ball ever in my life. By far the worst player on this team. At one point in one game, there was an inning where I made all 3 outs in one inning. There's 10 people on a softball team. That means there were 30 at-bats in that inning. No one else got an out except me every time I went up to bat.
Oh,
that's how
You're
fucking
terrible.
embarrassing it was. Yeah.
You ever strike out in softball? I struck out a couple times over a few years
no.
in Indy. Oh, nothing like a strong strikeout, just a big fat clean whiff of an underhand pitch, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, that's so funny. That it's wild to suck at a sport when you're old.
Mm-hmm.
I played first base, dude.
I hit a line drive back at the pitcher, not on purpose. Just I just smacked the shit out of it and went center of the field and buzzed right by the pitcher. They kicked me out of the game, and it said if it ever happened again, I was kicked out of the league forever. That's how in control these guys were. They would only hit the ball where they wanted to hit it. I'm like, I can't. Like I didn't do it on purpose. I'm not as good as these motherfuckers, but I hit the shit out of it.
I had one good game, but.
Yeah. I hit the fuck out of it. Who cares? Catch the damn thing. But I guess at that level, they could just literally kill pitchers anytime they wanted to.
I had a similar move with you. With Burton called me up one day. I used to go hang out. Well, one time when I was hanging out with Pat at the beginning, he'd be, in the off season, he didn't have shit to do. Like, we were just bumming around before he started hanging out, and then we all bummed around. But he buys me a motorcycle, and he's like, let's go fucking meet up with Dougie and Burton at the softball fields. And I was like, okay. So we go out there, and then someone didn't show up, and that Burton's like, can you play second base? And I'm like, yeah, of course. I played second base my whole life, like growing up, And just like you, I had the game of my life. Like somebody hits a shot up the gut, and I fucking get a jump on it, bro. I lay it out and catch it, dude. Everybody's looking at me like, what the fuck was that? Like a full layout quack, just like should not have caught it, And then they just like let me play from then on. And then slowly everybody I knew was gone, and then just randos kept coming on. But I keep friends with all of them. But
yeah,
it was really fun. It was so much fun. They had that bar there in the middle of by the field. They had like 30-ounce Bud Light drafts for $4 or some shit like that, dude.
Dude, it was the best. I used to live at the softball park. There was a good 10 years of my life where I was in 2 tournaments every weekend, and then playing league ball during the week. I mean, I fucking loved it. We would travel, we'd play in these round robin all nighters and shit. I mean, it was it was my life for like 10 years. But we would get so drunk because you're there for so long at the park, and they always have those awesome, like patio bars, with the deck on the second level that overlooks the whole park.
Yep.
It's like, how am I not going to get trashed every time?
What are we doing here? Why am I even doing this if I'm not going to get lit up play some softball, dude?
Right. If we had someone on our team that wouldn't get drunk, you're gone. Get out of here.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to be creative with my drinking as I get older, as becoming a married man. Because going to the bars really doesn't fly around. Like, I can't just go, hey, I'll be back. I'm going to some bars tonight. Doesn't happen around this house.
Right.
But I think that, we always go together, or I could go with, my girl's daughter and her man now, but, I can't just roll out to bars and shit like I used to, Like if I want to go, but now I have to play some softball, something like that, some cornhole, of a sport where it's mostly just dudes doing some dumb shit while we drink beers.
Bocce ball.
We play bocce at the house here. We got that too.
Dude, there's a bar right here by my house that has like 10 bocce ball, whatever you call them, courts or whatever it is. And there's always leagues going on. And it looks kind of stupid when you first watch it. You're like, these people are stupid. But then the more you watch it, you can tell like it's addicting and fun, just like cornhole.
Well, it's a cornhole. Yeah, it's a very cornhole-y. It's very, it's very fucking, horseshoey. Except, I find more fun with the cornhole because of all the different shit that's going on the board. But yeah, I mean, my lady and her family all love it. We've played it several times this summer.
I need to play it. When I come out there, we have to play it.
Yeah, we're gonna play. Yeah. By the way, when are you coming? Like, when are you coming here? So we can record here. We got a great little setup. It's all good to go.
I think for sure I'm
Jared,
coming.
you can come too.
February. I think February.
Okay.
Early February.
Yeah, that's the best time because I'm going to be visiting my mother. She's moving to Ohio again. My mother won't stop moving, bro. I get it and all, but I mean, let me tell you, like, here's what we did as a kid. I was born in California. I moved to Ohio at like first grade. Okay, my mom got remarried. We moved with him to Ohio, where my mom is from. Where I had my uncles and stuff. That was there for about 3 years. That didn't work out. Moved to Alabama with my mom's husband at the time. His family was from Alabama. That's where I got that good Southern food down there. Every Sunday was like fucking a theatrical event with food, Southern food. That's where I learned a lot about, collard greens and black eyed peas and cornbread. And then we left there after a year. And then I moved back to California. Was there for a couple of years, moved to South Carolina. Was there for a few years, moved to Yuma, Arizona, because my grandparents had left California. And they moved to Arizona because my grandmother's brother, remember I told you my uncle who was a Korean veteran and he had a Russian ballerina dancer husband?
Right.
Well, they lived in Yuma, Arizona. And they had dog kennels and shit. So my grandma moved there. So from South Carolina, we went to Arizona. So it was California, Ohio, Alabama, California, South Carolina, Arizona. Until I was 25, then 15 to 25 Arizona, and then left for LA for comedy and shit.
Is your mom moving to a different state or to somewhere else within Ohio?
Well, my mother, after I moved when I was like, I don't know, 19 or something like that. I was 19 when I left home for good. Like I had already had my own, I was already gone out of the house, but at 18, I left and went to Phoenix. And then my mother right around then left to Ohio. And she stayed there for 20 years. And then obviously as the economy got shittier and shittier, they had to leave there, and they got, my stepdad got some job opportunities, and they ended up in like New Mexico for a while, and that fell apart quick, and they ended up in Texas for a couple of years, and then they moved with some family back to Yuma, and that's where they've been ever since, and now they're moving back to Ohio.
Oh, okay, so it's back to Ohio from Yuma. All right.
Yeah, because my uncle's there, my brothers, the majority of my family is outside of Cleveland, like my brother, my brother's wife, his 2 kids, they're having another kid. my uncle, all his kids and their kids, and then my mom's moving back. And then a couple of my fucked up cousins that I don't ever want to talk to, but they still want to like pressure their ex druggy asses into like events when I show up. Like, dude, we're trying to hang out. I don't, don't make it uncomfortable. Get the fuck out of here before you get a mouthful. Because I haven't given them a mouthful yet, Todd, and I feel it coming now that my mother's moving there.
Right.
Like some serious shit happened when I was a kid. Let's not get into that. But they're still showing up, and I'm just like, I was being nice the last time when I was there because I was with Terry, and I'm just there to hang out with my family that I want to see, and then fucking they roll in after I asked them not to be there, and I was a gentleman, and I didn't fucking go off. But now that my mom's moving back, I'll smack a motherfucker across the mouth, bro, like a little child.
Maybe break out the softball bat. Just start going fucking ham on cousins and shit.
I mean, it's not a bad idea, but I want to keep doing this podcast, and I don't think they can let me keep this gear in jail.
True that. So
that's what's up, man.
That's cool, man. Hey, we forgot. So
you come early February?
Yeah, I'll come early February, sometime, within the first 2 weeks. I'd stay.
Are you gonna drive or are you gonna fly? Are you gonna drive or fly?
I haven't decided yet. I don't mind driving, so I might drive.
I would say do that. 10 hours flat.
Yeah. And even if I stop like somewhere along the way, I'll just stop somewhere along the way. Fuck it.
Yeah, like hang out with a homie in Columbus or fucking Cincinnati or whatever else is between here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be fun. You can do your thing, like have fun, maybe find a show or something. I don't know if that's going to happen. We keep getting canceled.
January 29th and 30th. So far, so good. Kansas City Improv. Fingers crossed. That means it's still going to happen. Get tickets at toddcomedy.com or gunsblazin.com. We forgot to play Noun Town last time. You want to try it again?
Yeah, let's hit it again.
Noun Town. All right. So we have 3 nouns. Jared has popped them up here in the... Ooh, took a little swig. What is that again?
Oh, man, I'm almost out.
Got to shout out your voice.
This is Macaulay's Virginia Bourbon Whiskey, which I am a little confused, and no disrespect to the homie, because it's a quality product. It's very good whiskey. I thought it could only be called Bourbon Whiskey if it's from Kentucky.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or not, but it's a Scottish name, too, so I like that.
Well, yeah, Macaulay's. He's
this
guy, savage. I'm going to have him on the podcast one time.
Nice.
Because the kid is a fucking maniac, bro. I don't want to get into it. We have to do Noun Town, so we'll talk about it later.
All right. The first noun is Eyepatch.
Oh, here's the thing, Todd. Here's the thing. When I was a little kid, I had this eye, and my mom wanted me, we didn't have the money for surgery. I don't even know how it was never even on the table. I thought maybe get a couple of snips in there, get that lazy muscle, pull her in,
Mm-hmm.
So we went the old fashioned route. We went to therapy, and I used to have to wear an eye patch, Todd.
Oh, so you wear an eye patch on your good eye?
Yes. And then I'd have to do exercises. They'd give me a newspaper, and I have to start at the first front page in the top left corner and just circle. I fill in all of the letters that have, like an O or an A or whatever the fuck a B, color in the letters and just do it for like an hour. And then I had all these different drills and I had to watch TV for an hour with my fucking patch on. But what I would do is I'd poke a hole kind of in the middle of the patch. I hated it. Bro, I hated the patch. And then I would just like look through the hole in the patch. And when my mom wasn't in the room, I'd be looking like I'd watch through the patch.
That's hilarious.
And also, I was a pirate every year for Halloween for like 10 years to hide my lazy eye.
Why not? You already had the eye patch.
Yeah, so I would just put it over the lazy eye and roll fucking out.
Oh, that's nice, man. I would
also cut off my leg and I'd put a peg on it and then I would re-sew it back on. I was committed to Halloween for a long time.
That is cool. Do you know why pirates actually first started wearing eye patches?
I would love for you to explain it to me.
It's because night vision. So when they would have to go out side and at night and look through the scope or whatever, they needed one eye to not have been exposed to light, right? So they would cover that one eye, and then when they would go outside at night to look through the telescope thingy, they would just remove that patch and look, and they didn't have to worry about the light having affected their night vision. Fucking pretty cool shit, right? Now on naval ships and stuff, they just have at night they'll just put all the lights inside are red, like if you're on a submarine or something. That way it doesn't affect you, because red light doesn't affect your night vision. Little
I didn't know
tidbit.
That. I'll tell you what.
Tidbit.
Fucking, I feel tickled right now because I learned some new shit about pirates and eye patches after being a little eye patch fucking monkey as a kid.
And I actually, as a kid, had to wear an eye patch for 3 years because my parents were actual pirates. So, and what caused? When did they finally let you stop wearing them? Was that when you were starting to get beat up early? Right? Is that when we dipped back to last episode? Yeah. It was
you were getting beat up for the patch.
They actually, my parents had to give it up because there was this kid who he lived forever. He was like young forever, and he brought his girlfriend actually and her little brother with him to Never Never Land, and he actually conquered my dad in a sword fight, and my dad fell off the ship into the ocean, and an alligator bit his hand off. So he had to go for the hook, and he decided to give up pirating after that, and Dustin Hoffman took his place, actually. So
that's wild. And then, you know what? A lot of people don't know that. That's how Dustin Hoffman started his career.
Got his big kickoff. Got to play Captain Hook opposite Robin Williams.
It's all thanks to you, dude.
There you go.
So shout out. Hey, cheers, buddy.
Cheers. I'm the captain now. It's so weird that we forget about the Somali pirates, by the way. We only think of the Eyepatch and Peg Leg pirates of the past. We never think enough about the Somali pirates. Like,
well, it just proves how important uniforms are. If you don't have unis, you ain't nothing but a bunch of fucking goofballs on the sea stealing shit. Get some unis if you want some like, listen, does anybody give a fuck about pickup basketball? No. Until you put on a uniform, no one starts keeping stats.
You know how they had their little run, right? The Somali pirates, and you'd see them all on the news, and then the Captain Phillips thing happened. And then after that, I used to love, for hours, I would watch these videos on YouTube of these transportation vessels now that would arm themselves with like 50 caliber machine guns and shit again. So you would see the Somali pirate boat coming up, this little speedboat, and it would get close, and then you would see that merchant ship just go with the 50 cal, just swipe right in front of them, and then the little ship would go turn its ass around.
It is international waters. Get some 50 cows out there.
I don't know why they weren't doing that before. If they would just paid one guy with just a hunting rifle, I mean, it would take forever for that little bitty speedboat to catch up. You just,
how do you do it?
Wrap the sling around, hook it, boat action.
That's really good. That's a really good, because if you play any kind of Warzone, you know that's a really good sniper sound effect by Todd.
It is.
What's the next noun?
The next noun is psilocybin, however you pronounce it.
What is that, by the way?
I think that's the magic in the magic mushrooms. It's a secret to hallucinogens. Psilocybin mushrooms.
This is where the unicorn was invented.
Oh, good point.
Who was the first living thing to eat these magic mushrooms? Animals. And then man eats it. He looks over, and guess what does he see? A fucking horse with a thing on his head. It's colorful. And guess who's on it? Rainbow Bright. You have to understand that psilocybin is probably responsible for 50% of early creative fictional writing.
Yes. All cartoons were based off of in that era, and most rock album covers.
Pink Floyd all day. I'll tell you what, after a few times I've fucked with some psilocybin, I've laid on the ground on my chest. That's how close I was to the ground. And I've watched the dirt and rocks turn into a little city. Ooh. Psilocybin has the power to have this much dirt and rock in front of my face turn into a little city. And I watched little rocks dance around, Todd. And I watched a wild stuff. And guess what? There was a king in there and he wore an eye patch. Rock kings wear eye patches when you're on psilocybin.
I love it. Third noun. Third noun is dump truck. Dump truck.
Now, from what I understand, you drove a dump truck for a while.
Mm-hmm. That's also what I call my toilet is the dump truck.
Yeah. And also, I feel like if you're a dude and you drive a dump truck, it's almost, you have to break up with your lady. You can never be broken up with.
I totally believe that. And you know, it's
Davey
like
dump trucks.
The dream
he drives a dump truck and he dumps people.
Davey dump trucks. The dream starts early as a kid because you're in the sandbox, right? And you got your little toy dump truck and you fill it with your little shovel and you drive it around and you dump it. Like that's all we ever want to be. I don't know how that dream dies between like age 4 or 5 to 20, but very few of us carry that dream on to age 20. I'm sure it's a very high paying job and it's, you know, you make a good living for your family. I'm not degrading the dump truck driver job. I'm just saying, like, we all forget that dream, but we all have it at age 4 and 5. Yeah. And I don't know what happens to it.
Yes. The yellow dump truck is the quintessential truck of my childhood. And I'm not talking little dump trucks that you could drive on commercial streets. Mm-hmm. I'm talking fucking beast mode dump truck that has to be choppered in with one of those spider choppers because it can't even fit on a trailer of an 18-wheeler. We're talking fucking 20-foot tall wheels dump truck. Maximum load capacity dump truck.
I would only move dog poop in my dump truck. I would find dog turds, put it in my dump truck, and drive them around and dump them in the neighbor's yard.
Well, here's what I used to do early on in my success as an internet chef. I used to drive my money to the bank for deposits in a dump truck, and then they had a crew, a hard hat crew at the bank that would pick up my unload. I would beep beep. I'd back it up to the back of the bank. I'd hit the lever and I'd dump the money, and it would fall into a pile. And they had a crew that was specifically hired to count and deposit my dump truck funds.
Oh, shit. When I was a cop, there was a dump truck that would show up every day at the police station, and it would back up to the back door, and it would unload and dump donuts. At the back, just a dump truck full of donuts every morning there for all the policemen in the police station.
And I'm going to tell you something I never told you. During the time I was dumping my cash with the dump truck, I was buddy with a dump truck dealer. Oh. And I had him. He gave me a reduced rate because he was also backing our boys in blue, and we actually bought a small shitty donut shop, and all we did was, because you remember that was a weekly dump off over there at the station.
Weekly. Every Monday.
We never
morning.
told you. Yeah, we never told you. That was me and the dump truck dealer, David.
Oh, nice. We appreciate that, bro.
And I didn't want, listen, I don't do it for the recognition, and it's been years, so I can finally let you in on it. But I was the reason you guys, it was like a charity type of, like, not charity, and like you needed it. Just like a little pat on the back for the boys in blue.
Oh, well, and there were day olds, but they were still good. And when I was when I was married to my second ex-wife, a dump truck would show up every Saturday night and dump a load of drama right in front of the house. Like I
remember that
clockwork. Every Saturday, a dump truck full of drama would show up and just unload that shit right in the fucking.
Because I remember there was a smaller dump truck that would fall behind that trunk, and it would dump off popcorn for us and the rest of the neighbors, and we would all eat the popcorn while you dealt with a dump truck full of drama.
Yeah. It would watch me get mad and spray paint shit on my garage. This happened once. All right, that's it for Noun Town, everybody. Noun Town. I also have an interesting fact here for us. Bourbon, you asked what really constitutes bourbon as bourbon, or what makes a whiskey a bourbon. Bourbon has to be 51% corn stored in a wood barrel with no additives. Jarrett looked that up. So that's what makes that whiskey a bourbon. It has nothing to do with Louisville, Kentucky, but I would have sworn you were right because that's like the home of bourbon. Louisville,
I'm
Kentucky.
double checking this.
And they're, Horse Soldier Bourbon, all those special forces guys that started that company.
Yeah.
They were going to try to start up in Louisville. And turns out Louisville not very friendly on new bourbon companies coming in. They got a stronghold there, the existing companies. So they had to move that shit to Lexington. Or Florida. Sorry, Florida.
I can't believe it. I could have swore that was the case, bro. Bourbon wasn't even applied until 1850 to whiskey. And the Kentucky etymology, whatever the fuck that word is, etymology, was not advanced until the 1870s, although bourbon may be made anywhere in the United States. Okay, I stand corrected.
Good pull, Jarrett. But there we know, because somebody would have tweeted that at us. They would have found that fact and tweeted it at us anyway, and now we're ahead of the game.
Now I know why you could call it bourbon whiskey from Virginia. I mean, listen, I shouldn't have questioned my buddy because he's a very smart kid.
51% corn.
You want to hear the best thing we did with that kid?
What's that?
If I've already told you this, let me know. So we were all living downtown LA. We lived in this amazing building, 201 Main Street. It was above a bar called, babe, what's that bar called that we went to at Disneyland? The Edison. It's called the Edison because downtown LA, the power company was on 2nd and Main Street for the turn of the 18th and 19th century.
Was it Edison Power Company?
Baby. Yes, Thomas Edison, whatever. That's where the power company was. It was in the basement of this building. So it was obviously the power, and then that moved from there, and then it became just like office buildings. But then it sat dormant in a puddle of water, all of that shit down in the basement, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the original power company downtown LA. Well, some investors in 2010 or something, I don't know, maybe earlier in 5, spent like 10 grand to open this place and decorate it and use all of the existing stuff and made it the most amazing, elegant. I mean, it's probably 10 million. It's it's GQ bar of the year type shit, right? We're talking they had a thing called Absinthe Fairies. It was women walking around like these fairy costumes, but on stilts.
Absinthe?
They have absinthe, which is like a liquor
absinthe.
that was
Okay.
Yeah, it was illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have Absinthe Fairies. They have people that walk around on stilts selling stuff. They have trapeze people in there. People go running up the walls because they're on trapeze wires, but it's hard to see the wires.
Right.
And the costumes are so bright. Well, they actually took the concept and they even opened up one in Disney World in Orlando. That's how dope the place is.
Mm-hmm.
I lived above it. What was the point of this story?
I think it was all about pretty much prohibition because you were talking about absinthe. Is that what it's called?
No, before that. Yeah, that was before that. Does Jared remember?
Jared,
why I talked about it?
We should knock out some top fives. You came up with some fucking doozies on this one.
Okay. Yours is stupid, bro. Let's do yours last.
Okay.
All right. Top 5 people to roll in the Civil War with. Top 5 people you want in your corner for the Civil War.
Well, you know what? I fucked up. Erase that I said top 5. We're changing the game. This is now the GBP Family Feud. New game. We've evolved from top 5 to the GBP Family Feud. So now it's top 5 answers on the board. Right? Top 5
I'm not
answers.
sure But Todd, what mark are we at? Can we mark this 44-24?
Mm-hmm.
Because also we would have to have an actual top 5 that we, because if we say something in this survey says, like, we forgot about that whole part.
You know what? We don't need it. We'll just go quick with the. It's just like
fuck it, bro. Top 5 still, but we try to mix it, but whatever.
But there's no real top 5 answers on the board. Just pretend there is. Top 5 answers on the board. Name
on your board.
Yes.
Top 5 answers on your board.
Top 5 answers on your board. Name someone who you want to be in your corner during the next Civil War. Can be real or fictional. Mm-hmm. Name someone you want in your corner during the next Civil War, which is happening, I think, next Thursday. Yeah,
next Thursday. I've already been invited on Facebook, so nice. I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going with number 1, Customato.
Oh,
this guy cornered the most amazing fighter in the history of fighters. I'm going with Customato in my corner.
It's Mike Tyson's trainer, for those that don't know. Created the most perfect fighting machine we have ever seen in the world of boxing. All right. Chuck Norris.
Chuck.
I want Chuck to be my general. I'm just going to he's the perfect age to be a general. Mm-hmm. He's been through it all. He's been a cowboy. He's been a U.S. Marshal. He's been a Delta Force member. He was a POW in Vietnam for a long time, and then they broke everyone out. Chuck Norris has done it all. He fought Bruce Lee. Chuck Norris is my general.
Okay. I'm going to be a basic bitch. I'm going to beat you to the punch because I'm pretty sure I'm 50-50 that you might have this person. Captain America.
Oh, good one. Good face of
we
your
saw
army,
what
bro.
he did.
Mm-hmm.
We saw what he did in the actual Civil War in Captain America 2 or whatever. He cleaned house, bro, on everybody.
And you know what? He's the perfect role model. He doesn't even cuss. Mm-hmm. He kicks ass, takes names, and uses 0 profanity. All right.
And you got to respect that.
I'm going to stay in your same world, in the world of Marvel. I'm going with Tony Stark.
Ooh, good one.
He's like the superhero version of Elon Musk. The dude can create anything, and he's got gajillions of dollars, which we're going to need to help fund our war effort.
Okay, my next one, I'm going to go back to where you kind of just came from. Steven Seagal, bro.
Oh, fuck. You keep him on your army because he's a piece of shit.
Not the old version, maybe the new version.
Fake ass martial artist.
Have you seen him fight 50 people, Todd? Come on, that's real. You can't fake that.
It's dance choreography, martial art.
It's called Tai Chi, kid. Get in the know.
We're going to go with Dracula. Strictly because I just don't want him on the other side. I want him on our side. I mean, you don't want to have to face Dracula, man. He's immortal. He's got superpowers. He drinks your blood. He hypnotizes you with his eyes. It's bad news. Keep Dracula on your side.
I'm going with the YouTube sensation, old Twitch sensation, Dr. Disrespect for no reason other than his name. And because he's so good at Warzone, I think.
Who is it?
Dr. Disrespect. This is a
guy on he's a real good Call of Duty player.
Yeah, because it was going to be him or Nick Merckx.
Okay.
Nick Merckx is a savage. I mean, the guy's KD is like 5.
I respect it. All right. I'm going Samuel Jackson because I don't know if you've seen The Negotiator or not, but he's going to be my negotiator. When it comes down to talk terms, finally, you want Samuel Jackson being your negotiator.
All right, my final one, Elon Musk. That's going to be his name then.
Nice.
His fucking word, musket. Yeah, that's in his name. I'm going Elon Musk. It's the real word version of Tony Stark. He just became the most richest man in the world, somehow passing Jeff Bezos, which I don't know how, when he gets a piece of every single package sent. But the guy did it. The Tesla stock is through the roof. Give me Elon Musket.
I love it. My final pick is Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay, because he, for one, he's going to run all the culinary needs of our entire army. Number 2, he's a fucking motivator. He would not let anybody sit on their ass. You're going to fucking work for this war, and you need Gordon Ramsay to be that guy to get people fired up. He's my man.
And guess what? He's going to hold people accountable. Nobody is going to pump out a mediocre product on his watch.
Are you a dummy? Are you a dummy? Hey, donut.
You ever see when he put a piece of bread on two sides of some chick's face and said, "What are you?" She said, "A shit sandwich."
I love Gordon Ramsay. Please make him the top show
He put
host
two
of
pieces of bread on the side of some chick's face, bro. What are you?
All right. Next category, top 5 answers on your board. Name the most awesome way to lose a finger.
Okay. Chopped off, ready? By the mob for snitching. That's a tough one.
It's a badass story.
Because they're probably going to smash it with a hammer for a while.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably going to smash it up with a hammer, you know what I mean? Try to figure out exactly what you told them, and then wacko, right down. Knife, Dunsky.
Proctology exam gone wrong. This is mostly for doctors, but I feel like it's a cool story to tell at the cigar bar with your other doctor friends or at the country club. How'd you lose your finger?
You're holding a cigar like this.
Just had a really uptight patient. Got excited. I lost my finger in his asshole.
He clinched up, and there was nothing I can do. The blood first went to, I lost blood flow to the tip. He was a real hard clincher. I had a rock up there. I was trying to get it out. He clinched, and he popped his cheeks to the left, broke my shit off.
Love it.
Okay. I'm going to go with gangrene, the slow-ass removal of it just rotting off.
Love that.
A good gangrene just setting in on the mitt. And just watching that shit just fucking die a slow death.
To the point you just accidentally like break it off, you know?
Yeah, where you bump into some shit and it falls off.
Which is going to be my next one. Dry ice freeze. You hit the nitrogen and it froze, and you hit it and it breaks and shatters like glass. It's a hell of a way to lose a finger.
Okay. Yanked off by a superhero real quick like though, but it's still extreme painful.
Oh, nice. I'm going to go.
Like you're kidding around. You have a superhero homie. You say, pull my finger, and he pulls it. Whammo. Gone.
You're just trying to fart. Hey, Captain America, pull my finger. Ow! Motherfucker. I'm going to go with thumb wrestling roulette. It's thumb wrestling. You lose the thumb.
You shoot it off with a 45.
Yeah.
All right, my next one. Cut off with a butter knife.
Oh, the long way.
Yeah, that's pain. That's drawn out.
I'm going to go machete fight with Danny Trejo.
Oh, nice. Danny Trejo, not only does he know his way around a taco, because he has a taco restaurant that's amazing, but the guy can fuck you up. He'll cut you up. Have you ever seen a little movie called Desperado?
Come on.
Good. Did you see the knives he had on him?
Oh.
Remember? All the knives on his fucking chest.
Oh, yeah. Dude's a badass. How'd you lose your finger?
My phone.
Machete fight with Danny Trejo. You get instant street cred.
Yeah. You want a cocktail? That's what I'd say. You want a beer?
Let me get to the next round. Next round's on me. This guy.
Dude, I'm not trying to point my finger here. Okay. Also, my last one, nibbled off by rats when you're chained, like when you're kidnapped and you're fucking chained off, and the kidnappers are out doing other crimes.
Yes.
And then the rats come in and nibble off your finger.
Oh, and it came up your back first and was on your shoulder, and you could see it, and you were trying to blow it off, like, get the fuck out of here, rat. And it just goes down your arm to the hand and just starts gnawing away. Yeah,
he was fucking on your earlobe first. He got some bites off, but then he saw that mitt.
Yeah.
And he saw that finger, that little fat finger. Your shit started swelling up because your sugar's been off balance. You know what I mean?
My last one is saving a baby from a wood chipper.
Ooh.
You know, like like the baby got away from its parents, and you see it crawling, and it crawls its way up into the running wood chipper, and it's right on the edge. It's about to fall in, and you run in there like, "No, baby, no!" And you block it, but your finger. Ow! I lost my finger, but I saved a baby. Everybody, I saved a baby. It's a pretty good story.
Well, you know what? Those are the top 10 ways to fucking lose a finger.
Those are some pretty creative ones. All right. Now let's go into let's close it out with some high notes.
Shit
All
is
right.
lit.
You want me to go first?
Yes, sir.
All right, my high note is I want a reality competition show where flat earthers have to actually find the edge of the world. I'm going to call it Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is. Why are they always coming up with these theories of why the earth is flat, but none of them are actually out trying to prove that the world is flat by finding the edge of the world? It should be so findable, right? You just drive and swim until you can't get any further.
Here's a deal. I got an idea there. Flat earthers, why don't you guys all come together? I'll pitch in on a fucking GoFundMe and get money to rent a chopper that can fly you out to the edge.
Yeah. Take
and
some
then
pictures.
You can sit there on the edge, look off, look underneath and shit. Like when you're a little kid and you look, when you're laying on your bed and you want to look under the bed so you don't fully go to the floor, you just kind of halfway hang off the bed so your head can see underneath. Like that's what I want to do on the earth.
And then when you're there at the very end, just go ahead and jump right the fuck off. We don't,
or at least hold on. Like if you're a parkour flat earther, even better. Now you can hold on to the end like they do in the videos with the one hand.
Oh yeah. Just
okay, mine is this. Driving and texting is way harder in nicer areas and neighborhoods because only people who can get hurt are in the streets, right? Like people who can get you can't text and drive. You know how they have those crosswalks with the white stripes? It's kind of like voluntarily a crosswalk when someone's there.
I treat them like
the right of way.
I treat them like they're piano keys and I'm in the movie Big. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yes, right? Exactly. So what happens is that people in nice neighborhoods, they assume that everybody is being responsible behind the wheel, right? They're very optimistic that people are responsible, and they just go on and walk right out in front of the cars. Well, there's a white crosswalk here. I think I better just head on over there, right? Now, see, that's why you have to be careful. You can't be texting and driving in a nice neighborhood. The difference is, like in a bad neighborhood, Todd, people, like, you could text and drive all you want because people know better than to try to get out into the street and think that they don't assume anything in a shitty neighborhood. You know what I mean?
They don't think the world is all gumdrops and rainbows, right? They know that everything is out there trying to kill you.
They know that there's probably a good chance this guy's not going to see me in the crosswalk. Now, that's why in bad neighborhoods, they don't fuck around in the streets, okay? They only cross at lights and when there's no cars coming. And now here's the deal in bad neighborhoods, though, Todd. Here's the flip side, is if you do hit somebody, it's probably a crackhead, and they're just going to bounce right off and keep rolling, so you don't have to worry about it.
They're going. So not only that, they're going to hang on to underneath your car the whole time until you get to where you're going, and then they're going to pop out the moment you step out and be like, "I'm still here, motherfucker." You know what I mean? They're
going to pop out and be like, "Yo," they're going to pop out and be like, "You want a Snickers bar?" Because they probably have a little box full and they're selling them for $2.
I'll watch your window for $1. You know
what a lot of people don't understand about crackheads in bad neighborhoods is that their life is kind of like living inside of a pinball machine. Right? They just can bounce off shit, bang into stuff, and keep moving. Nothing's wrong. That silver ball is never going to have to go to the shop. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Crackheads are the silver ball inside pinball machines.
I saw and I think meth heads are pretty similar. I saw a meth head get electrocuted on a power utility pole trying to strip the line of copper. The copper insulation.
You saw it live? You saw that live?
I saw the aftermath, I should say. And the fucking dude lived. He lived.
He went,
like, you can't kill a crackhead or a meth head. He's like, whoa, half my face is gone. Cool, let's go. And they're indestructible. I don't know what it is, but I think it's almost like they're close enough to death. It's almost like they get a death vaccine. You know how in order to vaccinate you from the flu, I give you a little bit of the flu. I think they're constantly living with just a little bit of death. Therefore, they're immune to death. If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. Listen, I think that crack on some level was like a busted version of the adiantamine, the shit that Wolverine has.
Oh, good point.
It's like a from what I understand, Play-Doh was a fuck up. And that's what crack is like. It was like they were aiming for something else and they ended up with crack, right? They ended up with something else, some kind of superpower shit, and they ended up with Play-Doh. Same thing. Crackheads. I swear to God, one time, now all bullshit aside, I was driving with my homie in Phoenix one time. I had a suspended license in Phoenix. Okay, let's go ahead and bust out a crime here. And also, to end this podcast, I remember where we were on the shit about the bar in my downtown LA apartment. Okay. So I'm in Phoenix one time. I fly back to get my license squared away, right? I'm driving my buddy's car. Okay. He was hammered. I'm driving it. He wasn't that hammered, but he was like, I'm like, bro, I'll just get us. Like, he picked me up from the airport buzzing. We're leaving, okay? We're out in the middle of Phoenix, like on 44th Street and Thomas, roughly. Out of fucking nowhere, bro. A crackhead just bolts out into the street and bangs into the side of our car and busts off the mirror.
Like a deer.
Doesn't,
in the country.
Yeah, like I didn't hit the crackhead, right? There was a bus behind me about 20 yards on the left lane. I'm in the right lane. It's a 5-lane road, you know, the middle turning lane. Mm-hmm. This crackhead comes running across. I go, what the? At the last second, I didn't hit him head on, but he ran into my car, bro, and broke off and then jumped off, right? And went to the bus, and I pulled over, and I'm like, bro, I have a suspended license, dog. So you got to, like, he wasn't that, he was buzzing enough that he can get, anyways, they come and get us. They come over, the police come, and then luckily the bus driver goes and saw it all happen. The dude tried to get, it was a girl. The girl tried to get on the bus afterwards. He had no fault in this. The fucking crackhead ran up on the side of the plate. And bro, it was such a close call. Like right before I got my license squared away, I almost probably went to jail for hitting a crackhead on a suspended license.
That's
okay. Here's what I was going to say. This is, I mean, it's not that good, but. So I'm living with these guys, the guy that makes the whiskey, you know? Mm-hmm. And we all lived like the 6th floor. Like it was like, you know, we're all struggling to live in this. I lived the other side, he wasn't struggling. This kid, Mike, was a fucking astrophysicist, scientist motherfucker, right? Works on like spaceship parts. Mm-hmm. Anyways, we lived there for like 3 years on this downtown LA loft above that dope ass bar, Edison. And right across you from the now police station, across you from the LA Times. Well, it costs $100 a month to park there. And then you'd go down and you'd buy your little parking pass. You'd hang it up on your rear view mirror. And so all of us had lived there for so long. And we all had stacks of these fucking old passes. Well, Charles's buddy was a super graphic designer. So we decided from then on, we're like, all right, fuck these clowns at the parking. Fuck the parking people, dude. Joe's Parking. I remember it. We've all been paying hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So from then on, what would happen was we'd all switch months. It was 5 of us on that 6th floor. So once every 6 months, you had to pay $100. You'd be the one to go down, buy your parking pass, give it to the fucking graphic designer. He'd scan it in. And we went to all of our old passes because they had holograms on the, so you couldn't hack them, right? Uh-huh. You couldn't just print them off. They had holograms. So we went and I had stacked probably, 24 of them. Everybody had 24 of old passes. And we X-Acto knifed off the fucking, the hologram part of it. So this guy goes and prints off a whole bunch of the little hanger things. And then we would hot glue the fucking, the hologram on it. So it looked like we all bought it. So for like the last year I lived there, I only spent like $200 for park instead of $1,200 because we would just make fucking 6 or 7 of these parking passes or 10 of them because those people had roommates, Uh-huh. And then everybody just parked for free. That was
what a genius move, though,
Yeah, I was like, dude, why are we doing this? I could X-Acto knife off the fucking, the hologram and hot glue it on there. Fuck these clowns. We hated them with a passion, bro. We hated them.
Well, they're just like the toll road people. Fuck them,
Fuck them.
Fuck your paid parking.
The
Fuck
East
your
Coast,
paid me driving on your road bullshit.
The East Coast should have gold streets. The West Coast don't have tolls, like very rarely.
Right?
In California, I could think of one. I think it's like something 73. the south of Long Beach going to like San Luis Obispo, where it's like literally a private highway. Like you don't even have to go on it. If you want to go on it, you pay like $2.
I don't mind that. Like if you're going like there's a little island, a cool little spot, and it helps fund that little spot, then I got to get over the ocean this little bit. I'll pay you that to go on there because that's not part of. I don't have to cross there if I don't want. But you charging me for the only way I can get from here is to go through your fucking toll road to get to the other state on the other side. Go fuck yourself. I'll shut down your state. I'll fucking storm your state with a bunch of people. We'll stay in the stanchions, but we'll cross your state and fucking occupy it right in. We don't give a fuck. I'll get all my friends.
Can this episode be called "Stay Inside the Stanchions"?
That's yes. I'm gonna have to look up how to spell stanchions, but stay in the stanchions.
I think it's like the homie Stan. SHONS. That's definitely not it, bro. I'm a fucking moron. Hey, Ty, I love you, buddy.
Love you, man.